Hello and welcome to Gaia Blooming GPS with Mimi and Nicole. And this is our weekly navigation through tarot and oracle cards of the astrological shifts for the week ahead. And we have kind of a shifty week. I think these are going to be some great shifts. We have Venus going into Virgo again, coming out of her shadow. She went retrograde. Now she's back into Virgo. And we have Mercury going direct. Yes. Everybody celebrate. We just had a Mercury issue come up, so we're ready. We're ready for this. And then the final thing that we're going to be building towards, is new moon in Libra, which is happening actually next Monday. We're going to get into that a little bit today. So we're going to start with the moon in Leo, moon in the sign of the inner child. I have my moon in Leo. I am partial to this placement. I love it. And I like the cards that I pulled. I also love that the moon is escorting basically Venus out of Leo and into Virgo. So the first card I pulled is flowering. I love this card because this card is so Leo to me. It is a Pentacles card, but like, look at her style. She is totally styling. She's creative. She's in her flow. She's in her creative flow. And that's, the call when the moon goes into Leo. It's time to get into your creative flow. It's time to let your inner child, come out and play. And you know what I was thinking with this? Maybe it's time to let your inner child dress you. Okay, so you might not be able to wear the clothes your inner child wants you to wear to work, but come home and be like, I think Nicole actually has a great example right now. She's wearing a Mickey and Minnie sweatshirt.
My inner child is showing.
Her inner child's totally showing. I'm actually wearing like a Cosmos tank top, so our inner children are out in pigtails. So our inner child, and rings. I decorated myself with rings. My inner child wanted it. So it's time to express yourself. Let that expression come out. Maybe you could even do this at work. You can wear a lot of rings to work. And the other card is slowing down. And it's another Pentacles card. But these two cards together, slow down. We make these lists, and Libra energy, the Virgo energy, it is such a time, like I have these to-do lists, I have all these things I want to do. I feel like these cards together are saying slow down, make some time for your creativity. Sometimes when you have your day so packed, chocked full of things, you don't have time to be just like, oh, I need to paint. I need to express, I need to create, I need to dance, I need to turn up the music and dance. So allow yourself to have a little bit of space during this time. Venus finishing up in Leo, the moon in Leo, to have that. Slow down the to-dos. There's going to be plenty of time to do that. Give yourself some time. And then from the goddesses, Kuan Yin, compassion. Release judgment about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. And I relate this to the slowing down thing. Sometimes we just, oh, my floor is so dirty, I just have to sweep it. Okay, so sweep it. Turn up the music while you do it. Let it take a few extra minutes and groove along with your sweeping, or groove along with cooking dinner. Create that time for that magic so that you can flourish. It makes you happy. Nicole?
So I have total Leo cards, like complete Leo cards. I think you're going to laugh when I show you what they are, because even the lion is showing, right? So the first card that I have is the conditioning card with the lion. And the second card is the rebirth card with the lion. Seriously. You can't make this up. Then I have from the other deck the power card. If these are not Leo cards, I don't know what is. So what I'm getting from this is, and these are total hand in hand. So what I'm getting with this this moon in Leo energy, in this Libra energy, because we are in Libra, sun in Libra right now. So the moon in Leo is telling you to get out of your conditioning. There's something in your childhood or the way you were conditioned, the way that you were told to do. So this might be school, parents, religion, something of this nature that is holding you back. It's a belief structure that is holding you back, and thinking that you're a sheep, thinking that you're a follower, thinking that you have to have the same viewpoint as the status quo. The thing that you are not really owning or realizing is how much power that you actually have, that you are a lion, and that inner child energy really is going, I don't want to be repressed anymore. I don't want to pretend I'm something that I'm not anymore. You might be in a job that is sucking your soul. So there first, before, you rip through and, quit the job, at first, it's about the internal rebirth, the internal, like, how much you feel like you're worth. And hey, if you have to go screw it and throw in the towel, you got to do what you got to do, because the inner child's not wanting to be repressed anymore. And then I have this rebirth card. And what I love about this rebirth card, it's so Leo and inner child at the same time. It's the camel birthing into the courage of the lion. The camel thinks it knows everything, but then realizes it is not. It does not. The lion is the courage, but the child is actually, the Leo is in its power, but the lion is in its power, but the inner child is the actual divinely realized Leo. And this is coming from, I love what it says in here, and that's why I ran and grabbed the book real quick. So emerging, let me go to the camel here. He lives in, the camel is sleepy, dull, and self-satisfied. He lives in delusion. He thinks he's a mountain peak, but he's concerned with others' opinions, and he hardly has the energy of his own. Emerging from the camel is the lion. When we realize we've been missing life, we start to say no to the demands of others. We move out of the crowd, alone and proud, roaring truth. But this is not the end. Finally, the child emerges, neither acquiescent nor rebellious, but innocent and spontaneous and true to his own being. So this is what I'm getting for this. Okay, so first lion, we got to realize that we're conditioned and we're the camel and we're looking around thinking about other people's opinions. Then we have to have the courage of the lion, and then we got to be the child. And beautiful and still in its own being, right? So those are the layers of that. And power, that you already have the power. Thinking you don't have the power is the actual illusion. Power, you have the power. And strengthening that solar plexus and your will. And will and self-esteem are both together. The more self-esteem you have, the more willpower you have to push through that. And the more willpower you have to push through that, the more you're going to feel confident and own yourself. So
I love it. Excellent. All right. So the moon is moving through Leo. That's moon through Leo. And then on Thursday, Venus and the moon are both going to shift into Virgo. So again, the moon is going to be escorting. We're going to talk about Venus in Virgo first. That happens earlier in the day on Thursday. It's happening at 10:29 a.m. And that's going to mean Venus is going to be shifting out of her shadow. She's been in the shadow. So we've been learning, really getting into those relationship Venus lessons. And I love Venus in Virgo. I really, really love this placement. And I love what the cards have to say. Venus in Virgo to me really is about forming a healthy relationship with your body. And that includes with nature as well. But my focus is really on the body. And I think these cards that I pulled, at first I was like, really, what? And it kind of has started to come through. So the first card I pulled is compromise. The second card I pulled is the miser. And the third card I pulled is trust. And I was like, what is this? But it like I said, it started to come through. So compromise. What is your body saying to you? Chances are your body has a lot of things that it needs from you. Like it's like, hey, I need you to actually exercise. I need you to move me. I need you to drink that smoothie. I need you to drink enough water. I have these needs. Your body it can't compromise. Your body is your tool for here. So this is the time, Venus in Virgo, during this time, especially with this moon lighting it up, Jupiter in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, we have like a lot of Virgo energy, a lot of energy in this Virgo. This is the time to be like, I'm not going to compromise my health for the world. I think that's where like this miser card comes in. That your body contains so much wisdom. I think sometimes it's dismissed in that saying like, I am not my body, I'm not this, I'm not, you are your body. Your body is your physical tool for your spiritual being. You need your body to be present in this reality. So it's time to uncover those jewels. Uncover what your body needs. Don't be stingy with your body. Don't be stingy with those vegetables. Like, do it. Listen. Don't compromise. And then the third card I think goes really well with it too. Trust. I think that comes in with learning your body's voice, what your body has to say. And, Nicole and I actually, we did a Gaia perspective on this, what your body's saying. I don't remember what it was called, but I'll put it up in the Gaia Blooming blogs this week. But you got to trust what your body's saying. And sometimes it involves some interpretation. Like you'll be like, oh, my body really wants sweets, and it's really asking for another kind of nutrient. And so there might be some interpretation. But sometimes one of my favorite examples for myself is my body I had a cough. It was a dry cough. It wasn't going anywhere. All I wanted was ice cream. And I was like, no, I'm not going to eat ice cream because ice cream is not going to help me. It's acidic. I want to get better. I want to feel good. And my body was like, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. And I finally, like after a week of this cough, I gave in. I had the ice cream. The cough went productive and was gone in a day because I finally gave in and had the ice cream. You got to trust your body. That doesn't mean go eat a whole bag of Doritos, but it's about cultivating a real relationship with your body, and the planets are here to help you. And you know, there are guides, tons of guides, tons of people who work with the body who can help guide you through it. But you yourself are the best resource for listening to yourself. So I encourage that with Venus in Virgo to cultivate a new, non-compromising relationship with yourself. And very passionate about it. Pele, divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What's your heart's true desire? I feel like we all have desires around our body. I want to be skinnier. I want to be sexy. I want to be more active. Get that passion going. We have Mars in Virgo. Here comes Venus to meet Mars in Virgo. Let's talk about passion for the body. Get passionate about feeling good in your body and see what kind of stuff comes around into your life. Nicole?
Okay, so yeah, I love that. You totally took the body perspective of that. And so my cards are interesting. My cards are a little like this too, and so I'll go on a journey. First, jumping out of the deck was the breakthrough card, and then I picked the abundance card. Okay, so this is Thursday, Venus in Virgo. Venus moving into Virgo. So what I'm getting here is, since Mimi took all the body stuff, I'm going to go to the other side. And this is more Taurus, but because it's earth sign stuff, I'm still going to talk a little bit about the way that we deal with money and abundance. And this isn't just money. This is feeling supported, feeling safe in your body, feeling safe on the planet. And a lot of us, I think, don't necessarily feel safe on the planet. There are things that have happened in our lives that made us not untrustworthy of our experience at times. And it's coming through finances. And the reason why is because money is energy. And if we have a bad relationship with our finances or the fear around that, we are manifesting more. So this is interesting because the next card I got was the Innocence card. So around your money, I know that a lot has been, and I've been saying this to people, and I've been doing it on my own, is we're doing the illogical approach. We are knowing, we're craving, our soul is craving something that we actually like doing. Our inner child wants to do more purposeful activities instead of just working a 9-to-5, coming home and feeling like our soul is being crushed. So we're taking these leaps of faith, that trust card that Mimi pulled, and allowing, and I see it with her cards too, the miser and the compromising. We've compromised ourselves, and because we're holding on to money, we're holding on to that fear of money. And because of that, we've compromised ourselves, and probably in our bodies have become unhealthy. So now we're starting to get to the courage, but financially it's not kind of planning out right now. So I think yet, and there's that trust card. Keep jumping, keep flying, because I know that you don't see the money yet, but just put your arms out and keep going, because I think what's going to happen is this Venus transit through Virgo is going, the more you say in your heart that Venus and Leo that Venus and Leo lesson that we are just coming out of is telling us, get in your heart, get in your heart, get in your heart. And the Virgo's going, all right, now we got to make it a reality. Now we have to make it a reality. So this whole transit, not just on Thursday, but the whole transit we're going to have in Virgo is going to make the love that you have in your inner child, the passion you have for your purpose, a reality. Hold on tight because your fears will come up, but you got to stay innocent in this, because this is, you know, your inner child knew this is where we're going all along. So of course it's time to do it. It's to what, how old do you have to be to get this thing going? You know, like, let's do it. So, so this whole transit, I don't know, Mimi, if you know how long the transit is.
It's usually, I mean, because she's going to be speeding up. So Venus is usually like, I think a month and a half. It's about 6 weeks. So it'll probably be through
The holidays.
Yeah, I'll look up the exact date. Let's see when. Let's see when Venus is, because I have my ephemeris right here. Venus moves into Virgo then, and then Venus. Oh, she moves into Libra fairly quickly. It's just a little bit over a month. So yeah, about 6 weeks. She moves in either the 8th or 9th. Oh, so it is exactly like a month. The 8th or 9th of
November.
Yes, November.
Okay, so this is what I say. And because we have Jupiter there and Mars and every freaking thing else, you know, we have that Jupiter. So in the next year too, but use this as a springboard of really setting the intention to make your heartfelt purpose a reality. And let this, you know, really push you, especially using that Venus and Jupiter conjunct energy together to really highlight what you love and manifest. You can do it. I promise. I mean, I'm in your boat with you. So, you know, if you need help, I'm rowing right next to you. Like, you know, yeah, you know, Mimi and I have so many people, we're rowing together because we do really believe that the answer does live with the things that we love. So stay innocent, guys. Really, really be true to that voice, because I think we need to sit in it and become abundant in this way instead of forcing ourselves to do something because we are slave to money.
Definitely. And I think that goes hand in hand with the body, because when you're doing something because you're a slave to money, you're not listening to your body. Meanwhile, your body's screaming out, no, please no. And so.
Well, because I'm busy and I need to eat fast food because I don't have the money and I don't have the time. No. The more that you're into the love, then you're loving yourself in that body way too. You're drinking a smoothie instead of going and get McDonald's breakfast, you know, so.
Yeah. Totally. All right, so Thursday we have the moon then shifting into Virgo, joining the Virgo party. So Virgos, you're lighting it up. I pulled such funny cards. Okay, so there's a few cards that I pulled. I was like, really? So I pulled the cards right before we go on, and I actually have in this deck, which is so appropriate for me, I have 2 slowing downs. So both slowing downs came this week. So I pulled slowing down, but guess what else I pulled with slowing down? Intensity. Really? And then the cards are so hilarious. Like, the universe has the best sense of humor ever. I pulled the schizophrenia card. So, I mean, this could be the picture with all this Virgo energy. I think Virgo, like, it does have that energy. Like, I want to get these things done. I want to do these things. And so you might have that pull to be intense, to do these things. Like, I am going to exercise. I'm going to exercise 2.5 hours every day. And I think the slow down card's like, hey, don't wear yourself out doing it all at once. The schizophrenia card, I love what actually Osho says about the schizophrenia card, is like, you have to let go of both sides. So this is the part of you that's like all in the to-dos, and the part of you that's all in the to-don'ts. And fall into your body. Fall into that place where your heart wants to be. So I love that. If you find yourself in one way or the other, like totally slowing down, that's great. Breathe in that moment, enjoy that moment, and tune into what your body wants. If you find yourself rushing around, this is me, like full speed ahead. That's your key to like, oh wait, I gotta slow down, breathe, find out what my body wants. And the other card that came up, which is so funny with all of it, is playful. And this goes along with kind of this theme of this week. Slow down and be playful. Slow down and tune into your heart. Slow down and enjoy the moment. Don't even smell the roses. Do something like that's fun for you, that's enjoyable for you. Get into the heart of you. And that, I think, that's what Abraham says, actually, is like when you find yourself in a place of enjoyment, that's one of the best places of manifestation, because you are out of that place of resistance. So I think that's what these cards are like, encouraging you to help expand on the energy. Have some fun. Get out of that place of resistance and just fall back into you. And from the goddesses, Freya, bold, unleash your adventurous side, take risks and be daring. I think the biggest risk is you taking time to be playful, taking time to enjoy yourself, taking time to fully embody who you want to be. That's one of my intentions in all of my big life shift that's been going on. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun, 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 fun. And that's like the energy which I'm moving into slowly, slowing down into fun. Nicole?
So mine are kind of schizophrenic too, but this is what I'm getting from these, right? So I have the exhaustion card and the harmony card. So this is really interesting. This is for Thursday, Moon in Virgo, okay? And the reason why is because the next card I have is the birthing card. Okay, so if anybody out there are mothers, they know that the birthing process itself is this, if you can get in the flow of it, there is a harmony in the birthing, but it's also exhausting. It's tiring. So as you birth, try to stay in the harmony. Because I also see this card because the heart is lit up, again, like Mimi was saying, and the mind is lit up. So it's these two things, the heart and the mind. And I also, it doesn't have it on here, but I always say it, and the body and the lower chakras too. Spirituality is not just the heart and the head, it's also the body and, those sexual chakras as well. So you get those in alignment and harmony. Even though you might be doing a lot of work and you feel like you're spinning your wheels a little bit, but if you're working on what is in harmony with your nature, even though you might feel exhausted, you will get this thing birthed. So you don't want to overexhaust yourself. So you want to find your harmony. You want to find that harmony, and you might ride that line a little bit of like, I'm working really hard and I do feel exhausted, but at least I love what I'm doing. You still don't want to exhaust yourself. You got to check in with the body. I'm also getting the take flight card. So taking flight is the reason why you might feel exhausted is because your efforts are finally starting to lift off the ground. And so it's like we just got out of that cocoon phase, and we just got our wings, and we worked so hard to get out of that cocoon. So we are a little tired, but you're so excited to have wings. What are you going to do? Are we going to sleep, or are we going to try these bad boys out? I really want to fly around and see the sights for a second. And sometimes because you're on such a high, you forget that you are tired. But do rest. I mean, Mimi did get 2 slowing down cards, so you got to rest, even though, I know you want to go play with your wings. That sounds fun. But this card also, when you read it, says that you need to be in community. And so with being in community, you might be able to start finding a support team so you can rest and you don't have to do it all on your own.
Sounds nice. I like it. All right. So Friday, we have Mercury going direct. I'm so sorry. This Mercury is not a bad thing. It's just a way for us to learn, get deeper into ourselves. And I love that. But this Mercury can be mischievous. Mercury loves to have fun as an energy. And this Mercury period has been very mischievous. It's not been bad. It's just like, really, are you serious? It's like having a husband that makes you like pull his finger all the time. That's what this Mercury retrograde in Libra has felt like to me.
Say that again?
Like a husband that makes you pull his finger all the time. Like, hey, pull my finger. That's what this Mercury retrograde, like, really, really, no. I don't want that. Oh, it's happening anyways? Okay, whether I pulled the finger or not. So the cards I pulled are really very interesting. You know, it's interesting considering we just have been retrograde. The cards, they all go kind of together. Beyond illusion, silence, and turning in. Look at these three cards. They're like, hey, this was your goal during Mercury retrograde. That is the goal, to turn in, return to yourself, look in, communicate to yourself, communicate with yourself. And so these cards are saying, hey, don't give that practice up. Don't stop listening to yourself just because Mercury retrograde is over. It's in Libra. It is about relationships and relationship foundation. It starts with you. What is your connection to you? And I have to say, just during this Mercury retrograde in general, I'm a Gemini rising. Mercury retrograde spurs my mind. My mind has been nonstop all this time. I have had to work really hard at getting beyond the illusion of my mind and what it's had to say during this whole time because it's been rampant. I have had to work a little harder at meditation. A lot of times I'll just fall in and be like, boom, there I am. And this has been like, come back. Wait, no, come back. Here we go. Yeah, and then the turning in card, listening to myself, listening to what my higher self has to say beyond all that mind chatter because it's been an interesting thing. And, you know, here's the other card that came up, comparison. You know, you might be comparing your Mercury retrograde experience to somebody else's, your relationship with meditating to somebody else's. Get out of comparison. These are lessons for you. And so now that Mercury is going direct, now you can really integrate these lessons. Maybe you needed, like me, to have a harder time meditating because that wasn't the way you were meant to do it. Maybe it was meant to be a different kind of meditation. Maybe it was meant to be a dance meditation. Maybe it was meant to be a walking meditation. So these cards are saying, don't compare. Don't worry about your process. Go back to you. Get back beyond illusion. Go back into you. Back into your relationship with yourself and find yourself there. And don't worry about anybody else or what anybody else has to say. And that's really good for me again, too. And then from the goddesses, Bast, independence. Bast, she is the lion. We've got a lot of this she's the cat energy, this feline energy this week. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. That kind of goes with these cards. These cards aren't about anybody else. Even the comparison card is saying it's pointing it back to you. So get present with you. Get present in your relationship with yourself. Get present in your communication with yourself. As Mercury goes direct in Libra, it's going to be going direct at like 0 degrees Libra, I think. It's 1 degree or 0 degrees. I can't remember exactly which one it goes direct at. But it's going direct right there. So we have to go through the whole sign of Mercury in Libra. Get a good relationship with yourself.
Yeah, I think it's 1 degree. I remember that I asked you.
Oh, she froze again. Oh, technology. Speaking of Mercury. Oh, you're back? You're back. You're back.
Okay, good. Oh, yeah. What is going on? Okay, so I have a theme too, but mine's different than yours, I'll be honest with you. So let's go with my theme because I have the other aspect of it. Apparently, good. You and I are going to have the same different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Morality, suppression, thunderbolt. Yes. So, you know, this Mercury retrograde, you might have been this guy. I don't want to know. So what I'm getting as we go through the Libra stuff, because like Mimi said, we're going to be going through the whole Libra thing again in Mercury. So coming out of Mercury, you know, you might feel your brain might have clouded you a little bit because, you know, it is a time for kind of a cloudy head. But at the end of the day, I mean, look at both are cloudy heads. Both are cloudy heads. So our minds have gotten the best of us. And your mind is trying to talk you out of things that you've planned on wanting to do, inspirations, things like that. You feel suppressed. You might feel like, no, I shouldn't do that. And it's maybe it is about the stuff that I talked about earlier of like, you're finally starting to get your wings. You're starting to see kind of different things. But maybe the mind is going to kind of come out and try to go no and keep you down, that crab in a bucket like I talked about I think last week. But then we have the thunderbolt energy where you have no choice. you know, the thunderbolt is always kind of for me the hand of God, or a lightning bolt, the Zeus kind of going boom and shaking up your world. So whether you're stuck in morality and suppression of morality is like right and wrong, what you think right and wrong is, the black and white, conservative against liberal, blah, 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 blah. It's like trying to figure out what's right and wrong, and realizing that there's so much gray area, or even beyond gray area. There's a rainbow of a world. It's not black and white. And so what God's going to do is like, hey, get out of that illusion, boom. And you're going to have to realize that maybe there is no good or bad guy. Maybe you have to embrace the simplicity of it is simple, but realizing that, look at it as a rainbow and not black and white. That's what they keep saying. Look at life as a rainbow, not black and white. There's many colors. And then simplify your life. You're overcomplicating your ideas. You're overcomplicating the way that you need to do it. You might have this idea, but then realize, oh, but I need this and this and this and this and this and that. No. Start with stage one. Start with step one. Don't worry about all the overcomplicating it and making it bigger than it needs to be. Just start simple. Simplify your life. Get rid of stuff. Maybe downsize. Simplify. And you'll feel a lot better in this Mercury going direct. But we got to get, you got to get out of your own suppression, because what are you hiding from?
Yeah.
I hope that made sense. It felt like a little all over the place, but
yeah, well, Mercury, it would be. It'll make sense. It does make sense. It's not like it will make sense. It did make sense to me. So, it's good. It's Mercury. I'm really ready. I usually like Mercury retrograde, whatever. Like, it's cool. It affects my words. This time I'm just like, yeah, I'm done.
This Mercury retrograde hasn't been bad for me. I was traveling, so I thought I was going to be, but because I was in such divine purpose trip, it didn't bother me. But when I've gotten home, holy hell.
It hasn't been, like, it wasn't the beginning. The beginning was tough on my words, and like that always happens with me. Like, oh, I get the feeling, but I can't get the word. Like, let me pull the words out. But this week I'm done. So speaking of done, we have two more things. We have the moon shifting into Libra, bringing us into the energy of the new moon, which is happening on Monday. So moon into Libra on we're in October now. October 11th. We're past September. See, Mercury retrograde. And I pulled some interesting cards for this moon in Libra. The new moon is a very powerful time. It's a very powerful time for manifesting, but right up before you do that, right up until that manifestation point with the new moon, it's a really powerful time to release what no longer serves you. And the first card I pulled goes with one of the cards Nikki pulled earlier, conditioning. We're letting go of conditions. And this is so pertinent with Libra energy. Libra energy, that harmony card Nicole had as well. Libra energy loves that harmony. It loves the feeling of just like we're going to get along. Everything's going to be balanced. It's going to be good. And sometimes we sacrifice ourselves in that. We're the sheep sacrificing ourselves to the lions, the people who are themselves. And this is saying, hey, stop being a sheep. You are a lion too. Step into your power. Be you. This is a call for transformation. This moon in Libra, a transformation of you being authentic to yourself and letting go of that conditioning. And the other card I pulled with this is completion. Finish. You had those lessons. You've had those lessons of putting on the mask, trying on these different social structures. You know who you are. It's time to really embrace who you are. Step into that with this Libra energy. And I think Mercury direct is helping us. We had the time to look in, look within, get to know ourselves on another level. So transform, step into that. This always reminds me of Kali too. This card is such like a Shiva Kali card. And Kali, that's one of the things, Nicole knows this better than anyone, so she can probably get into this more, but Kali is all about like cutting you off from what doesn't work, cutting you like off from the false ego. Again, there's many different levels and layers of that, but like that part of yourself that's fake, that mask, that politics card that I didn't pull, but that's what's coming up in my head, is the politics card. Put that down, put that aside, complete that level of yourself and step into who you are. Be present with who you are. I think Nicole froze again. Oh, no, you're there. You're freezing on and off, but you're back, yay. And the other card for goddesses, really quick, White Tara, sensitivity. It says you're becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environment, situation, and chemicals. And what I like in this too is avoid those things that you're putting on your mask for. If there's people out there who don't accept you as you are, you don't have to be around them. Go around the people who celebrate who you are. Go get with your team. Put aside the other things. Go feel good about being together with the people who celebrate you, and then see what happens when you step back into the lion's den. You're suddenly like, I'm a lion too. Rawr. I'm 5. So, I learned that from Kali, I think. Anyways, Nicole.
That's awesome. That is, I think that is something my daughter's name is Kali. So yes, I think that is something she does. She is definitely her own being. That conditioning with that kid is, there is no conditioning her. She is her. Oh Lord, she's her. Okay, so moon in Libra on Sunday, but leading up to this new moon. Okay, so I got the Fool card. So the Fool card is saying that, you know, and it's so funny because he's looking at the moon and the moon is barely there. It's like, here it comes, right? So what is this saying? This is saying letting go of preconceived expectations and letting go of the past, even if you've been hurt, and looking to the future, looking for your intentions, because new moon is all about setting new intentions. Put those aside as you decide what your intentions are and really go for what your heart is feeling. I'm getting these two cards. I got the Power card once again. Back to that, I pulled that with the conditioning card, right? So remember your power. And then I also have Divinity, the Divinity card, and remembering your own divinity. So that's why you got to take all your past hurts, because this is going beyond your hurts. Your intentions need to be from your power and the knowledge of your own divinity. Because the cards that I pulled for the new moon in Libra have some other things, and I'll have Mimi do that first. But what I'm really getting for this Sunday is, like, don't worry about reality with this one. When you're doing your intentions, really go for your highest and greatest self and see what you actually want when you do that. Because I think if you just kind of leave all the like, well, I can't do that, I can't just do that because I have all these responsibilities. That's fine. That's not actually your responsibility at the moment. You gotta look in a bigger way. Dream. I keep hearing that voice from Inception, the movie Inception, when Tom Hardy says to the other guy, "Don't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling." And he, and so that is kind of the feel I get with this one. Cool. Don't be scared to dream a little bigger.
Well, yeah. I like that. I don't be afraid to dream a little bigger. And I'm with you, because these cards that I pulled for the new moon, let's start with the Fool. So here you go. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the blood moon that we just had. At this point with the new moon, it'll be like 2 weeks ago. The blood moon, all of this relationship stuff that we've gone through. And let me pull up the other cards that I have to show you. Adventure, traveling, and the Rebel, along with the Fool. This is such an interesting gang of cards. It's like you're on a new journey. And I think that's what happens when you start relating to the world in a different way. What if you started relating to the world as the Fool, as the Rebel, as somebody who's true to yourself? The world is going to change. It's going to be a whole new adventure, because, everything is in relationship with everybody else. So a lot of times, maybe your next door neighbor who's reactive. I'll use my next door neighbor. Not quite next door neighbor, but, the crazy lady up the street. She's probably reacting off of my frantic energy when I was trying to get Lala back. She was a very unhappy person, but I know that my energy played a piece in that. And that doesn't mean that she's not an unhappy person outside of that. But in everything, there's an interaction. You change how you're showing up in yourself, being that rebel, breaking out of those chains. There's such a theme of breaking through these chains. Look at this. He's stomping through these chains in here. Breaking through, starting that new journey, and just showing up in the way that this new relating causes. Just, I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but I don't feel like I'm getting out as clearly as I want to. Yeah, it's time for a new journey. And I just think we have done so much shift in our relationships. There's been so much in the astro. And this new moon's like, okay, this is the time to start this new journey. This is like a rebirth into you, how you're relating with the world. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about how people are going to see you. Be you. And it's going to set you off on amazing adventures. It's going to color your world different. The more different you show up in the world shows up in multicolor. And the card that I pulled from the goddesses with this, to go with this new moon, is Lakshmi. Bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. And to me, she's like the Venus of the Hindu religion. You know, she's saying, hey, love yourself, love your path, love your journey, go on that adventure, be you. Don't worry about it. It's all good. The future's so bright, you gotta wear shades.
She actually reminds me of Libra energy. Can you see me?
Oh, totally. She's totally like Libra energy to me too.
Yeah, I mean, because the material aspect of it, and she's like this goddess of, you know, material worth, but also of bright futures and justice and all these, you know, not justice necessarily, but definitely, you know, it's going to go your way type of thing. Okay, so what I got, and it's funny because she pulled a lot of the cards I pulled prior. Now I'm pulling cards that maybe pulled. I have the turning in card for the new moon. So it's always great to meditate on a full moon, because what your intentions that you put out is kind of what you're talking about. And I'll get to that in a second. Then I got the new vision card. And I have the surfacing, and then what I was going to say is the prayers. So this turning in and prayers are together. So the prayers are, you can even think of this in a grander scale. So prayers of what you want to see in the world, and really taking your power back from all of this, like the naysayer energy, and really getting into your relationship with your source and your high. And just because there's a bunch of people going, well, you can't do that, you can't do that. Maybe they're telling you something different. And this is the voice that you got to trust. You have to trust that the voice, that the guidance voice, more than you need to trust the small mind, the small-minded voices. So this is this is what the voice might be, and it's the comparison card. You might go, well, I can't do that. They're already doing that, or they're doing it better, or they're prettier than me, or they're more talented than me, or they're more blah, 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 blah. Small mind, small mind, small mind, small mind, blah, blah, blah. So what you have, again, when this is going, I feel like this is very important. So please just take a moment and really absorb this, because what's going to happen when this new moon, like the kind of what Mimi was talking about, the Mercury retrograde energy, where the mind gets really loud. What I think might happen is your mind might get loud, but you can't do that. Ba, 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 ba. And I keep getting it that way, where they're trying to show you that you don't have to listen, that it could just be like ba, 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 blah, 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 blah. Change the voice and let them say blah, 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 because that's about as productive as what is being said in your head. The small mind voice. And every time that comes, instead of listening to that, connect to this voice. Connect to this voice. Listen, connect to this voice, not the blah, and change the voice to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's like the Charlie Brown parents. Like, allow that to be what it is, because again, it's as productive as that. So what's coming through is a new vision. So if you are able to connect to this voice, you will download a vision, a new vision. And this is, see, like this, I love this card because it has the man down in the ground, but he's also rooted, by the way. And then it's coming up, it's blossoming into this with the wings. So, and it's also reminding you to have all three worlds. This is spirit, and soul and body. So you need all three, by the way. So I'm not telling you to kick out your human. What I'm saying is the small mind, because some people think the small mind and human or the ego are the same. And they're all kind of part, but you still need your human. And by the way, you still need the body or the ego or whatever. But maybe you have to put less emphasis on that egoic mind and the small mind. because it's just a servant. It's just a tool. It's not supposed to run the show. So there's a little flip-flop going on. And then when that starts to happen, what's going to happen is your real self is going to start surfacing through. It's going to bubble up to the surface, and just keep going with it, because you're going to start uncovering stuff about yourself that you even had no idea that was in there. And you're going to feel a lot more in your power. But you have, I mean, if you were in my head right now, my guides are like screaming, you have to connect to the prayers. You have to connect to your higher self. You have to connect to this, the higher voice. And they keep saying, keep connecting to us, keep praying. If you're worried, I used to say this a lot. This is a quote that came through in a session once. It's like, worry does nothing. Prayers can create miracles. So if you're in the worry, turn that worry into a prayer. Every time you worry, turn it into a prayer. Prayer is action. Prayer is action. You're asking for a solution here instead of just worrying about it and thinking that you have the answers. That's small-minded. When you're trying to solve your problems just here, there is no help. But if you're praying with your problems, you're asking for help. You're asking for help. And then there can be a resolution. There can be a solution. But don't just keep them here. Bring them up, bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. Bring your worries up to them, and they can go, all right, let's co-create a solution here. Boom. And then miracles can start opening, and you can start trusting a new vision for yourself. And with that new vision might come the solution, the answer you've been looking for all along. And it might be closer than you think.
Yay. I love that. And I just want to mention, this kept coming up for me during all of what Nicole is saying. This is such a great week to start something new. All this creativity, this rebirth, checking in with yourself. I highly recommend, it starts tomorrow, correct? Your Artist Way class. There is still time. It starts October 6th. So if you're watching this today, October 5th, or even probably, earlier in the day on October 6th, sign up for Nicole's class. I highly recommend it. I've said that every week. You've probably gotten tired of me saying it. But this week, look at the creativity that's coming through this week. And the rebirth and the work on the comparison stuff and our relationship with ourselves. That's all work that you can do. And the prayer, I think it's the prayer that really tuned me in. There is you will find a new connection to spirit through Nicole's Artist Way. It's not about throwing paint on a canvas. There's so much more in the Artist Way that can help you really connect to yourself, to your higher self, and to spirit. And so if you've been like kind of on the fence, I don't know, I so recommend it. Do it.
Well, thank you. Awesome. Well, and even if you're on the fence, just let me know. Oh, I'm also doing an October reading special. So if you guys are feeling a reading, I usually do 150 an hour. I'm doing 100 or $50 for an hour, and it's or $50 for a half an hour, and it's usually 80. So I'm doing a significant. For some reason, I just kind of felt it. So get a reading and see, maybe where we can unravel some things together within that hour, because within an hour, it doesn't just have to be a read. I can help you process what is blocked. And I usually do. I usually kind of mix my coaching and my shamanic skills with my readings. So if you're really feeling blocked, or you really feel like something's coming through and there's this death rebirth process happening and you need a little support, book a reading, and we can do like a half an hour read and then like 30 minutes of processing too.
Awesome. All right, so find us around the web, NicoleOman.com. That's where you can sign up for her class. Come check us out, Gaia Blooming Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. I posted a fun Instagram the other day and showed up both of our names. Coaching with Nikki is Nikki on Instagram. I am Gaia Blooming on Instagram. I don't know if I'm forgetting anything, but we're all over the place. Come find us. Talk to us. Let us know what's going on in your life. Comment. We'd love to hear from you. So, you know, let us know who you are. Who's watching this? We want to know you. So thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I hope you have a magical week. I hope you have some time this week for your creativity to come through. And namaste.
Namaste.